Hello, humans. I am your host, Bradley Martin, and this is Clearing the Way, a resource for small business. I talk with sales and HR experts, other small business owners, and anyone else that can provide you and I with information to clear our way to success. Today, we discuss a difficult one. This is going to be a difficult one for some people to hear. This is relying on others to bring in your sales and bring in foot traffic, any of those things, relying on others to bring people through your door, basically. So first, I'm going to lay out two different scenarios here, and both of them are probably more common than what you might think. Some people, maybe this isn't an issue for you. Maybe you've already made these steps, and you're not dealing with any of this. Others, I know you're out there because I know you're out there. So here's a couple scenarios. Scenario one. Your business is in an area, you decided to open a business in an area that you thought would get regular foot traffic and a good amount of foot traffic. Or maybe at some point it did get a good amount of foot traffic. Plenty of employers around, plenty of businesses around, all of the things that led you to believe that there would be foot traffic, they're all there. But for some reason, you're not seeing it. So maybe you're a block too far in one direction, or maybe your hours, you're not really open when those people are out, or maybe the product you offer or the service you offer or the food that you offer isn't really something that people are, that when the traffic is there, it's not what people are looking for. Or maybe the businesses around you, they're not the things that are driving traffic down into your area. So you're not seeing that traffic. That's obviously super frustrating. You've opened this store, you've opened this restaurant, you've opened this whatever, expecting to get traffic that you are seeing or that you know should be there, but you're not seeing it. And maybe at some point you were, but it's just not there anymore. But because you opened this spot and thought that you were going to have all this natural foot traffic, or because you were getting this natural foot traffic, you didn't need to focus quite as much, or it became easier to not focus as much on bringing people into your store because they were all just finding it. People were going to walk past, or they were walking past, and they would just stop in. They walked in, they walked by, they thought, oh, that looks like a great spot for lunch, or that looks like a great spot to pop in and shop. They look like they have some cool things. But that's not happening anymore. So there's a couple problems here. Even if, so we haven't set up, so even if people are going to walk past, even if you get a lot of foot traffic, people don't notice things. We don't notice the obvious things. I worked in retail for a couple years. I was up at the outlets at the Reebok outlet. There were signs everywhere all year. Buy one, get one 50% off. All year, everywhere in the store, throughout the entire store. You couldn't miss them. Every single day, several people. Oh, are there any sales going on today? Oh, are there any sales going on today? Every single day, signs all through the store. You couldn't miss them, and yet everybody missed them. Another example. You drive down the same road every day. One day, you look to your right when you don't normally look to your right, and you say, has that house always been there? That's happened to me a ton of times. We just miss things. It's the same situation there. We just miss things. So even if people are walking past every day, people might miss you. So how do we avoid that? This is, that's the first problem. Second problem in this scenario is that we're focusing on, we're not focusing on bringing people in the door. We're not doing anything to bring people in the door. We're just relying on people wandering by. We're relying on people seeing it, seeing the store, and just deciding that they want to come in. Okay, that's a technique. You can do that. So that's scenario one. Both of these scenarios have the same root issue. That's why I'm going to lay these out first. So this episode is brought to you by the City of Washington, Citywide Development Corporation. If you're a small business in Washington and you need another set of eyes on your situation, or you need help growing, you're not sure what's going on with the business, you can't figure out how to get out of the current struggles you're going through, you're just looking for ways to become a little bit more efficient, anything else like that, or if you don't know where to go next, you don't know who to find to fix whatever the problem is, reach out. The WCDC is a free resource. We're here to help. The links are down below. Reach out. Like I said, it's a free resource. Now back to the episode. Scenario two is your storefront is in an area that hosts a ton of events, events or gatherings or whatever, ton of community events. Whoever's hosting the events, they normally do everything. They post a ton, they handle all the planning, they build the hype, they spend all the money on ads, they do it all. They make sure that there's traffic, they make sure that there's more traffic than what you normally get. You can just sit back, be a part of the event, enjoy that increase in sales, and that's it. You just get to chill. And if the events happen regularly enough, you can just rely on them. They just do it all the time. It's, they handle it all. It's easy to get complacent. If there's an event every month or so, the sales during those events, they're enough to kind of, keep you content. Not enough to really get you where you want to be, but they keep you content. Here's the problem though. You're not driving any of that traffic. The event host is doing all of the promotion. They're doing it all. So there's an event, great couple days in sales. You see a little bit of an uptick. That dies off. Not a problem. There's another event next month. No big deal. So you fall into this constant roller coaster, and it's all based on when other people are hosting or other organizations are hosting events. What happens if there's a couple months where there isn't an event? Or what happens if they aren't as good this month at promoting the event, or it doesn't get as much traffic as normal, or you get bad weather that day? Shit, if you're in this area, Pennsylvania, southwestern PA, or any of the other things close here, like, what you can't rely on the weather. You get a bad day of weather, you're gonna probably see less traffic during that event. So both of these scenarios, the businesses have become reliant on some outside force to drive traffic to your business. And one, we're relying on wanderers, people just happening to see us and stop in. Okay. The other, we're relying on some other organization to promote an event that we are a part of, but we're relying on them to bring traffic. So how do we avoid these things? Like, there's issues with both of them. You're not seeing the traffic in one scenario, and on the other, maybe the event wasn't good, and now you've got somebody else that you're trying to blame for these things. So we have to be responsible for our own marketing. That might mean hiring some outside organization, but we need to have some focus and responsibility for our own marketing. Having the outside event hosts or having people having them help promote you during events or help promoting your business through whatever their other resources, that's all great for sure. Like, that's wonderful. Having people just stop by, like being in an area that has good foot traffic, or being in an area that you just naturally get people walking through the door, that's wonderful. Obviously, we don't want to stop any of that. But we need to also be doing all that we can to bring people to us. Have people go out of their way. They want to come to us to purchase our product, to get our food, to use our services. We need to be bringing those people to us. We can't just sit back and just hope that somebody else is going to take care of it. Because again, what if the event isn't good that month? Or what if there aren't events for a couple months? If you're not bringing your own traffic, if you're not driving the own interest, then you're reliant on everybody else. Like I've said it before, you're just reliant on other people for your success. And for people, to drive any sales, like you have to not get lucky, but you're relying on everybody else. So we need to be responsible for bringing in people. How do we do that? Well, we need to figure out who our customers are. We need to figure out why they should visit your store. We kind of talked through this episode 10 with Lauren Highland. That episode's about social media. We covered finding your Janus, figuring out who your customer is. We touched on all of that, all the basics. That is a great place to start for the social media side, because that is going to be important. Probably the easiest place to start, but listen to that episode. She covers all the basics, but that's probably the easiest place to start and the easiest first step in correcting this issue of yours. But don't worry, you're not alone. There's plenty others. I can promise you that there are a ton of other businesses in the same situation. So take a listen to that episode. Good starting point. So what else? What else can we do? Social media, huge, awesome. We've listened to the episode. We're doing that. We're starting our social media. We're starting to become more active. We're going to be consistent. We're going to do all those things. And that's going to help a lot. What else can we do? Well, let's make sure our store is actually inviting. What does it look like? Maybe it hasn't been changed in years. It's looked the exact same for years. Same layout, same facade. Everything looks the same. Okay, let's make some updates. Obviously, if we're struggling right now, we can't do anything that costs a ton. So we're not gonna, get new awnings or anything like that. That's fine. We don't need to make massive changes. Maybe it's a little new sign that you can put out on the sidewalk every day. Maybe it's updating the way your windows look. What's on display in your windows, or what's the layout of the store? You've kept it the same for all these years. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's do something new to catch people's eye. Change it up. Make it visually appealing for the people that are walking by or driving by, and they look over and see, that looks different. I haven't noticed that before. What is that? Okay, cool. Now I'm interested. You've caught my attention. Great. Okay, so that's number 2. A couple things we can do here. The other thing, we've covered this in another episode also, but collaborate with those businesses around you. Maybe they are getting traffic, or maybe you're both in the same boat. A little cross promotion, introduce your customers to their services, vice versa. These are definitely the easiest things to do. There's a ton of other things we can do. We're going to cover a lot of this in future, but this is the basics. I really wanted to just introduce this as a problem today, because it's been coming up more frequently, and it's very, very solvable. But we just have to be responsible for our own marketing. Like I said, all of the other things are important. They're helpful. If you can get the other organizations to do some promoting for you, that's great. Like, obviously, that's wonderful. But you also need to do what you can to bring in your own customers. There's a lot that can solve this problem. All of the solutions are going to require some effort. It's probably not going to take just one of these things and overnight, bam, you're just killing it. Probably not going to be the case. All of them are going to take time. They're all probably going to suck. They're all going to probably be uncomfortable. You might change the entire layout of the store and then realize that maybe that doesn't actually work. So then you got to change it again, and that's fine. Or, just maybe you'll probably start posting. You'll post a ton, and you won't get any engagement. And that's also fine, and that's normal. Just stay at it, stay consistent. Listen to that episode. Lauren's got some great tips. But there's going to be a lot of trial and error. It's not going to be a ton of fun, but neither is struggling because we're relying on others to bring in our traffic. And if they drop the ball, or if they don't promote well, or if whatever, they're not responsible for your success. We need to be accountable for that. So it's going to be difficult, but it's going to help you. It's going to help you grow, and it's going to help you to overcome this obstacle of no traffic or lower traffic or not as high traffic as you want, and the sales are lower and all these things. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, reach out. The links are down below for any of that kind of stuff. And yeah, this is important for sure. If you have any suggestions for guests or a topic that you would like to see me cover, please send me an email. Bradley at clearingthewaypodcast.com. That'll be linked down below. If you found this episode or any other episode helpful at all, please share it with your friends. Please leave a review. Please comment. All of these things are helpful in getting the information to more small businesses like you who may be in the same position as you were a month ago or 2 months ago or 3 months ago or whatever. So all those things are helpful. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Have a marvelous week, and I will see you next time.